Welcome to Tesla Politics. Today we will be focusing on the feud between Elon Musk and Senator Elizabeth Warren. With that said, let's dive in. Senator Warren started the feud with Elon Musk when she tweeted, "Let's change the rigged tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else." Calling Elon Musk a freeloader after he has paid billions in taxes this year was a calculated move on her part. She will not stop here, as she will continue poking him, hoping to get sympathy from the majority of voters during her next campaign. Now let's watch some of the reactions from the media outlets.
Elon Musk causes a ruckus with fake Pocahontas. Yeah, the billionaire of space verbally declawed the hapless Indian fraud. Senator Elizabeth Warren, if that's her real name, started this childish feud with the world's richest man on Monday when she tweeted, "Let's change the rigged tax code so the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else." It's weird to me, though, that when rich people forget that they're also rich, Warren herself is a millionaire. She should know that, right? But Elon was having none of it, replying, "Stop projecting," and linking to an old Fox News article calling her a fraud. "We appreciate the shout out, Elon. You're welcome to do the show as soon as you make a Tesla big enough for Tyrus to fit in." But Musk came back with an even bigger burn, tweeting, "You remind me of when I was a kid and my friend's angry mom would just randomly yell at everyone for no reason. And please don't call the manager on me, Senator Karen." That is some Trump-level tweeting right there. That slam hurts more than the pain Joe Biden feels simply getting out of bed. You know, Kat, the art of a good tweet is when somebody describes somebody so well that you can't actually never unsee it again. And like when Musk described her as his boyhood friend's mom who just yells at people, that's almost like putting her on ice.
I kind of disagree, though. I don't think she's a Karen. I think she's more of a Sharon.
Ooh, really?
It's something I just made up, but I'll explain it.
Yeah.
So like a Karen will call the cops, but a Sharon will like not call the cops and talk about how she would never call the cops all the time as a replacement for the personality that she'll never have. Like a Karen would be like, "Kids, keep it down," but Sharon will show up, be like, "Hey kids, want to hit my vape pen?" They're like, "You're 70, we're 20, go home, Sharon." Like, she wants to be cool and edgy so bad, but she never will be. That's a Sharon. She's a Sharon.
Interesting. Kennedy, that's an interesting analysis of Sharon. Is she not aware that Elon Musk probably pays more taxes than anybody on Earth?
No, absolutely.
Like millions.
Facts do not matter to the progressive tax conversations. Very similar to the cancel college debt conversation. They will employ things that no one fact checks, but they are completely false.
Yes.
And think of the number of people that Elon Musk supports with SpaceX and Tesla and his Hyperloop that he's someday going to build, and someday we'll be able to fly through the air and disintegrate and then reform.
Oh, yes.
He's going to invent so much cool stuff that if I were her, I would be nice to him.
Yes.
But he also, and I think she is kind of a Karen because she became the manager. So
Right.
she's like a super Karen. So she was appealing to power, but now she's so powerful that she wants to squash everyone she has a beef with. And I like that he tweets things at people like her and Bernie Sanders. He tweeted at Bernie Sanders, "You're still alive?"
Yeah, that was a good one. You know, you get the feeling that Musk is one of us, and he's we get the best people on our side. Madison, it is true what Kennedy's saying. When you compare him to a politician, he's doing more for this world, especially in space exploration and batteries, than any politician or corporation. So it's kind of nice to see him just flatten pretentious loudmouth. Tyrus, speaking of...
Don't go there.
I won't. What do you think about this feud?
It's exactly what we talked about. The progressive woke administration's need for the 3 a.m. tweet.
Yes.
So he is their new Trump because now the battle with him is going to try to deflect what the horrible things that's going on in the administration. Talked about how they're upset that President Trump was no longer on Twitter to fight with.
Right.
So now she was the first one, and they drew him in. And although his disses phenomenal, as a guy who likes to do mic drop disses, they're up there. He's a billionaire with a billionaire brain. It's phenomenal. But unfortunately, he just unfortunately took the bait, because now they're all going to come at him now.
Yes.
Now will be the top story. Now they're going to go in the background. Now they're going to try to, even though he's literally like, I don't even need your federal funding for my electric cars. I don't need it. They're still going to go at him because now they found somebody to distract.
Yeah, I also,
so they're
I also
going after
forgot
him.
that she existed.
Yeah,
Like,
but now we remember.
I had to like really recomb that.
She's back.
I had to use that. No
I saw her in the hallway one time. I was like, holy, who is that?
Yes. All right, we got
Pelosi will be next.
Yes.
Then the VP. They're all going to get in line because they're going to get attention.
Time magazine has named Elon Musk Person of the Year, which is actually an insult to any number of people who should have been named Person of the Year, because Elon Musk is, I mean, he's the worst. His company, Tesla's $1 trillion market value, well exceeds its revenue. It only reached its first full year of profitability last year. Has long relied on sales of emissions credits to keep its bottom line afloat, and was recently ordered to pay more than $100 million for a racist, hostile work environment. But this year, Musk leapfrogged the other billionaire space cadet, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, becoming the world's richest person. He's also opposed to the Democrats' Build Back Better bill that would help women and children and families. And he wants to get rid of all government subsidies, like the ones that help him build his empire. But Musk isn't just the world's richest person. He's one of the most thin-skinned people on social media. And this week, he tried to come for Senator Elizabeth Warren, who tweeted, "Let's change the rigged tax code so that the person of the year will actually pay taxes and stop freeloading off everyone else." I mean, the senator is correct. This year, ProPublica got receipts. Its investigation found that in 2018, Musk paid nothing in federal income taxes and less than $70,000 in 2015 and 2017. Well, Elon wasn't happy, so he did what he always did and stomped his little feet and insulted Senator Warren, calling her an angry mom and referring to her as Senator Karen. So for so many reasons, being a freeloader and a selfish and disrespectful one, and for misappropriating black vernacular for misogynistic purposes, Elon Musk is the absolute worst. Meanwhile, Senator Warren has better things to do than fight with Junior Birdman on Twitter. In a Boston Globe op-ed, Senator Warren called for expanding the Supreme Court by 4 or more seats, writing that the current court threatens the democratic foundations of our nation. Joining me now is Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. And Senator, I'm gonna go ahead and let me first play Pramila Jayapal, because Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal and Congressman Senator Sherrod Brown. Here was their thoughts on Elon Musk being Person of the Year. Take a look. I'll tell you what they said. It says it's time for Elon Musk to pay his fair share in taxes. Sherrod Brown said a billionaire who's been found guilty of illegal union busting by the National Labor Relations Board should probably not be Times Person of the Year. So those were their thoughts. I want to just give you an opportunity to respond to Elon Musk attacking you on social media.
You know, the world's richest freeloader evidently has a very thin skin. But you know the part that really makes me angry about this? It's on behalf of every public school teacher, every waitress, every computer programmer, every street cleaner who actually paid taxes. And that means they paid more than Elon Musk did in federal income taxes. And that's just not right. And it means the system is broken. I, along with many others, am trying to fix that. But the days when these guys not only get to rake it all in, but then rub everybody else's nose in it while they head off into outer space and declare how they did this all on their own, when they were subsidized by the federal government and subsidized by every waitress and by every public school teacher who paid their taxes. This is wrong. And Elon Musk needs to eat a big dish of that.
He needs to probably use his big money and buy himself some self-esteem, because apparently he gets sad when people say mean things about him not paying taxes.
Now let's dive into Senator Warren's finances. According to Forbes, Elizabeth Warren's net worth is estimated at $12 million US. Warren is said to hold much of her fortune in retirement accounts following a lengthy career as a law professor. Forbes also reports that Between 2008 and 2018, Warren and her husband, Bruce Mann, earned over $10 million according to their tax returns. Elisabeth Warren also made a fortune of $3.2 million between 2013 and 2018 via book deals with Macmillan Publishing Group. Warren lives in a tiny 3-story Victorian home in Cambridge, which is valued at about $3 million. Elisabeth Warren falls under the top 1% of rich people. She seems to attack the top 0.1% because she figures she will never get there. She believes that the ultra-rich have rigged the economy and the tax system. The senator proposed an annual wealth tax on the top 0.1%. She couldn't make the proposal on the top 1% of the wealthiest because she's part of them, and that makes her a hypocrite. Let's watch this clip from CNBC.
Elizabeth Warren is one of the biggest critics of the rich in the 2020 Democratic field.
But you recognize that, say, with business people, with Wall Street, you're a very polarizing figure.
You know, look, I get that there are a lot of folks who like having the power and the riches they have. They like being able to tweak their little pinky, and the United States government does just what they want. Don't call me the polarizing figure. They're the ones who want to say that their personal wealth, their power is more important than building an America that works for everyone.
The senator hasn't done so badly herself. She is ranked among the top earners in the Democratic presidential field for the last few years. Last year, she and her husband, Harvard law professor Bruce Mann, made about $850,000. In the 4 years before that, their incomes ranged between about $716,000 and $1.5 million. The haul puts them firmly in the top 1% of U.S. households. Warren is campaigning on dislodging an economic system she says caters to the wealthy and powerful.
Washington works great for those at the top.
But she stresses that she doesn't want to stop other Americans from making money. Warren's tax returns show it still pays to be an author. She raked in more than $300,000 from writing last year. And that's small potatoes compared to what she made in 2014. Her income from consulting, lecturing, writing, and investing was nearly $1.2 million. Warren has written multiple books over the years. She's been writing both during her Senate tenure and as a Harvard law professor before that. And it's not just the book money that made Warren and Mann rich. Warren took in about $173,000 from her congressional job last year. Mann made another $400,000 at Harvard, where he focuses on topics like legal history, nonprofits, and estates. So why does their wealth matter? Warren wants to fundamentally change the political and economic system to help working and middle-class Americans. Her proposed 2% tax on wealth above $50 million is the main source of money for her plans like widespread student debt relief and universal child care. But Warren says she doesn't want to penalize achievement.
All we're asking is when you make it that big, put something back in, and we're asking for a little fairness in the system.
Even so, critics on the Republican side have noticed how much money she has.
But I think this points out a real hypocrisy for a bunch of candidates who have eschewed capitalism and who have really used their government office to grow their own wealth. I mean, if Elizabeth Warren was simply a law school professor peddling textbooks, she would not be making the $350,000 from her book.
But it may not be that simple.
You could argue that gives them extra credibility, right? That they could be ultimately taxing themselves.
And Warren herself says she doesn't want to hold Americans back from financial success.
You don't think capitalists are bad people?
I'm a capitalist. Come on. I believe in markets. What I don't believe in is theft. What I don't believe in is cheating. That's where the difference is. I love what markets can do, but only fair markets. Markets with rules. Markets without rules is about the rich take it all. It's about the powerful get all of it.
It's a message top-tier Democrats are stressing constantly during the primary.
Look, Donald Trump has put us in a horrible situation. We do have enormous income inequality.
Working families need support and need to be lifted up. And frankly, this economy is not working for working people.
Well, President Trump, you're not standing up for working families when you try to throw 32 million people off the health care that they have, and that 83% of your tax benefits go to the top 1%.
Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and Kamala Harris are all millionaires. And they're all insisting that their financial success is not going to affect their focus on lifting up working families.
During a debate with Ken Langon, Senator Karen acts like a politician she is. She dodges questions and tries to dictate the direction of the debate. Let's watch the following clip.
Is negative compound interest. What it is. You're right. I made all the money. I paid the government what I owed them. What I had left, I put at risk. I could have lost it all. But I paid my share. I have a bigger issue for the senator that I think I would hope she would address that to me is apple pie and motherhood. Senator.
Could we talk about the wealth tax just for a minute before we change subjects here?
Senator, I have an easy one for you, and you're going to be shocked that I'm bringing it up from a fat cat Wall Street guy. How do you rationalize giving me $3,000 a month check every month with all my wealth? Why don't you people have the courage to address entitlements as to what should no longer be an entitlement? I shouldn't get Social Security. Second thing, I pay a minimum alternative tax. I pay a tax no matter what my deductions. I owe the government so much money. Why don't corporations have a minimum tax? Third, what about the carried interest? Why not address that? These are home runs in terms of right versus wrong, in my opinion. I'll give you one example. This is shocking. Take all the corporate taxes paid in America last year as told by the government, what they got in. Home Depot paid 1% of all those taxes. One company that didn't exist 42 years ago. We take good care of our associates. Our vendors love dealing with us. It's profitable. We give back to our community. And by the way, our shareholders have compounded at 27% a year from the day we went public 40 years ago. Everybody has done well, and we've paid full taxes. Why don't you address these? These are slam dunks, Senator. Tell me why I should get a check, and my wife gets another $1,000 on top of that. Take it away from me. Have the courage to do it. I know it's the third rail of politics, but do it.
So let's start with the wealth tax. That's where we were.
You don't want to address the issue. You don't want to address the issue of how I'm getting $4 grand a month from the government, and I shouldn't be getting it.
Can I answer some of these questions?
Sure, please.
All right, thank you. So I'll start with the first one, and that was the question about the wealth tax. Remember, let's look at someone like Jeff Bezos, who is worth $1 bazillion. He has not paid taxes on all of that wealth. Don't describe it that way. In fact, Jeff Bezos, many years, has either paid nothing in taxes or has paid about 1%. Why? Because his income is very, very small, but he continues to grow his wealth through all of his Amazon stock. And how does he then fund a lifestyle like he does? Not by cashing in Amazon stock, but by borrowing against it. Right now, we have a tax system, because it focuses principally on wealth, that actually doesn't capture the folks at the very top. It makes middle-class folks pay, it makes working-class folks pay, but it doesn't make those at the top pay. A wealth tax is an opportunity to say, if you're at the very, very top, you have to make a contribution too. Now, I think you also asked why we don't have a minimum tax for corporations. Actually, I've proposed something very much like that. It's called a real corporate profits tax. And it says that the amount of tax that giant corporations have to pay, that is, corporations that made more than $100 million in profits last year, that those corporations should have to pay a tax on what they report, not on what happens after they've done a zillion loopholes and excuses and not paid their underlying taxes. That would be another way that we could pay for universal child care and roads and bridges. And you ask about Social Security. I think Social Security really is the thing that is structured differently. It's structured as an insurance policy, and you paid in year after year after year, and part of the contract was if you would pay in, you would get this kind of return on the back end. It's not somebody's welfare. It's not somebody's charity. It was an agreement that every employee in the country who is eligible for Social Security paid into and gets a return at the back end. Surely you wouldn't want to be the person who would go on national TV and say, after a contract has been negotiated and someone has paid into it for 40 years, that the federal government should turn around and say, oops, we changed our mind. We're not going to give you the payout that you earned by making those payments.
Thanks for watching. Remember to like and to subscribe. Adios.